So let's jump in today. Again, thank you for joining us and welcome to Elastic Path. There are a lot of commerce options out there, and we appreciate that you took the time to speak with us today. And we're going to share with you some of the things that we think make Elastic Path a much more different offering than what you might have considered. And that starts with the flexibility that is offered in this solution. So let's start to explore that a little bit more and take a look at what people are facing right out there. Certainly, you have some goals that probably don't align with what everybody else is doing. You don't want to be a copycat. People are always looking like, how do I differentiate? How do I be an innovator in my commerce pursuits? And it's really something that we've aligned our solution around. And so, again, we think that you need to get outside that box. You shouldn't be hindered by what you're trying to do. We know that you have a unique business now, or maybe you even started out and you think, hey, my needs are pretty in line with what I see around me, but those needs evolve. And you're going to find either if it's not today, it's going to be tomorrow or soon thereafter, that you're going to want to innovate. You're going to want to do something that's not provided for directly in some of the solutions that are out there today. And when you start to look at what's out there, you'll find one, there's complexity, and that complexity comes with some of that innovation sometimes, but we're really trying to strike that balance. And balance for commerce innovation means tapping into the best of both worlds a little bit here. And we want to also at the same time make it easy for business users. We know that you're driving the solution, but we need to have that buy-in from developers, right? They oftentimes take the commerce capabilities and bring them to life. And we need a solution that's going to provide for them as well as the tooling for business users. So that's why we're going to talk to you today about this innovation zone right in the middle. On the left, you're going to see that there's a lot of all-in-one platforms out there. It's like, hey, just sign up and, we'll do everything. We got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And, it seems to be easy until you want to get outside of their offering. And then it's like, oh, put this add-on and bolt on this. And it doesn't give you the flexibility you're looking for. And in recent years, there's also been on the right side, this focus on these mock solutions, these composable solutions, focusing on microservices and their architecture. But at the end of the day, you're getting a lot of pieces that you need to put together. And in the middle, we think Elastic Path has brought together the best of both worlds. We're giving you a solution that has more breadth than what you're typically going to find on the right-hand side, but you're not locked within the traditional monolith of solution that does, we do everything. We've been purpose-built to have that flexibility in the solution, to be API first, to be composable, and that composability means I'm going to need to integrate, right? Composability means I don't get everything from one offering. I'm going to compose it usually of multiple offerings or at least multiple services from the solutions I'm working for. And having a solution that pays attention to the integrations, is API first, and has the extensibility that you need really is that differentiator. So we really feel like we're targeted for that commerce innovator. Again, whether you see yourself as one now or in the future, this is something that you're going to want to make sure you're building the framework for what your commerce offering is on top of. In addition to the technology and the solution, the other thing that we think Elastic Path really sets us apart from the competition is the way we focus on our customer, you. We really want to be invested in your solution. We are doing as much as we can on the innovation front to bring more capabilities. And then we're there also on the implementation front to make sure we bring expert resources to help you deploy and figure out how to architect your unique solution as you go forward. So again, as we get more into this, you'll see that partnership with our global services team and with whatever type of offering you're looking for, however we want to partner together, we can be very flexible on how we approach that. So again, what are some of the areas that we do see some of the uniqueness or some of those hard problems? And again, you may not have these now, but you may be considering these for the future. And some of the things that our customers have come to us for is, how do we do B2B2C? How do we launch multiple sites? How do we do custom checkouts? How do we add in subscriptions? We need to go omni-channel, multi-geo. We want to layer in personalization. These are all the things that Elastic Path is designed to help our customers with. As we look to the footprint of the Elastic Path solution, we see it falling kind of into these 6 areas and can sell and deliver on just pieces of this. So as you think to how do I evolve my current commerce solution, any one of these areas might be your first step into getting to composable commerce. The first being we have a studio offering. It helps our customers launch quickly with landing pages, and we can use this to drive an entire storefront if you like, but it's really focused around a business user driven, not code driven front end that you can deploy quickly, all integrated into the catalog and pricing and promotion that Elastic Path offers. Next over there, our product experience manager. We're going to start the demo in that area. It's really the backbone of our catalog offering. And you'll see how you can really take the flexibility of any type of catalog and really activate your merchandising needs inside of this business user tooling. We have a composer offering we'll take a look at briefly today. It allows you to start to orchestrate the different business processes you have and manage those integrations. We also, across the bottom, we won't take a look at these today much in the demo, but we also do have a payments offering. We have a subscriptions offering. And we can, if you like, just start with cart and checkout, right? We're going to start when we look at some of our customer examples to see how quickly we can deploy a cart and checkout and really handle the flexibility that's needed by some of our customers' business needs. All right. So before we get to that demo and some of our customer stories, when we go into that, we're going to look at composable merchandising. This is a set of capabilities that we really think activate the merchandising needs for our customers. It starts with that catalog that I mentioned. All right, the ability to create multiple catalogs, launch them, swap them, personalize them. Again, all inherent in the capabilities of this system. That's complemented by complex pricing if you need. We can target pricing in different segments. We can target to your B2B versus your B2C customers. That pricing has data effectivity to handle sales prices and handle volume pricing. It's, again, a quite robust engine that sits alongside that catalog. We have promotions capability to activate rules-based promotions that can offer simple or advanced promotions. We have bundles capability that allows you to bring together a set of products that could be to solve for outfitting use cases, or again, our customers use it in many different ways to really drive up that average basket size and then allow their customers a more positive experience as we complement together the items that they're going to want to naturally buy. And we're just going to make it easier for them and be able to provide promotional capabilities to get multiple items into that shopping cart. We have personalization. We can target catalog pricing, promotions across geographies, loyalty tiers, customer segments. And then finally, that orchestration piece that I talked about. It's so important to be able to take your integrations and different processes that you need to put into play, and then have an engine that you can monitor and make sure is making your business run effectively. And again, putting that all inside of the business user tooling that you'll see today in the demonstration. All right. Before we get to the demonstration, let's take a look at a few of the Elastic Path customers and see how they're taking advantage of this offering. First, I want to call out Pella. Pella Windows has a complex product. They turned to us to help them with a cart and checkout solution that needed to support the complexity of their catalogs and the pricing and be able to get through a checkout that isn't just a simple put it in the cart and check out. There's a couple more steps to it. So we help them there. We work with Vivrel. They have a unique business model also, or in their case, they're actually selling serialized products that people are actually really renting, and they had unique inventory requirements around that, unique checkout requirements. And so again, we've been able to partner and help them bring their solution to life. And then finally, Serena and Lily, who had some complex merchandising and found themselves on a solution that didn't scale to the needs that they had around so many different fabrics and offerings that really need to be customized. And they were able to find support for that complexity within our product experience manager offering. So as we turn to demo, let's take a look at some of our customers here. And I just want to give some more visualization of what does it mean for Pella and when I talk about complex products. So for them, they have these windows. They can, again, you can design these to be different dimensions and add different options. And they need a solution that could take these configurations, put them into a cart, And you can see here I went ahead and built out a cart. I dropped in one of their windows, picked all my different options within here. I'm also merchandising some add-on kits here that can be added quickly with one click into that checkout. And then when I go to checkout, you'll see again, it's not a single step. I'm going to need to figure out where's the job site, who's picking these up, how are you going to pay for these? It's not your standard checkout. And again, this was all built on top of the Elastic Path offering. So that's one of our customers. We talked about Vivrel. Again, they're also taking advantage of the rich attribution that's supported within the Product Experience Manager. So you can see here, I'm able to search and filter by all of the different product attributes that are provided within Elastic Path. Here I've narrowed by what's in stock, what occasion am I shopping for, and then I can see I have a number of different options I can choose from. And if I pick one of these options, it's a little bit different than a normal experience. I need to be part of their subscription program here. And before being able to make a selection, I should have picked a different one here. Before I'm able to add this to my closet, I need to log in or apply. And so we've provided the ability to create that customer account, set up that subscription, and then once they've done that, then we can add to closet. So again, a little variation on the traditional shopping experience. And then finally, Serena and Lily. Large set of categories that you can shop across. If we go ahead and take a look at, let's say, furniture, we can see the product catalog is deep. Here we can go furniture, bedrooms, we'll go to beds. And when we get to products, not only is the catalog deep in terms of its options, the products themselves are. So now we have a custom product here. We'll go with this lawyer bed. And here we're going to pick size, fabric, and leg color. These are not pre-built products. They are custom made. They have delivery dates out into the future. They have variations on pricing. So again, as we see here, we'll go ahead and let's step into a queen. And again, Serena Emily uses our pricing engine to give that initial price for a selection. But we'll see as we start to select into our 175 fabrics, note the 3,700 here. We go to fabrics. Let's say we're more into something of the leather variety here. And we'll go ahead and pick this dark blue. And now as I go to a leather bed, now I'm up into the $8,000 category. So we're again tapping into the pricing capabilities. We're able to report that back to a customer to say your selection of this configurable product using our bundle capabilities, bundles together the frame of the bed, the fabric of the bed, and the leg color of a bed to then put this into a shopping cart. Okay. So without that flexibility of product model, this becomes a very difficult problem for many. And again, was able to be easily solved here within the Elastic Path Product Experience Manager. All right, let's go into the demo then. So in the demo, you can see here, we're starting off one of those things I mentioned in the challenges area that some customers face is I have multiple stores I need to manage. And so you'll see here with Elastic Path, we understand that. Here I can go ahead and pick from within a single instance of our business tooling. I can go ahead and pick across any number of stores. If you had requirements where I needed to share product, pricing, catalog information across these stores, we can do that through our organizations. So I'm not going to go into organizations today, but it is an important concept if you have any amount of store sharing across geographies, across brands. It's all part of the experience here. When I land within the plant store, I'm on the home page. We can see for our new customers, we make it very easy to get up and get running with a few steps to get your site launched. We know where we're going today, so we're going to go right into products. But before I go into a product scenario, I just want to introduce you to the navigation over here. We're going to work predominantly in products, but we do manage orders and customer information. I mentioned the subscriptions offering that's available. When we get to storefront options, we'll take a look at Studio. Composer is our integration platform as a service. And again, it does allow for that orchestration piece. So we'll take a look there today at how that helps our customers be more productive. And then as you have any unique needs in terms of extending our data model or other just customizations, you may find you're leveraging our extensions capability. And then finally, the settings area gives your administrators the ability to manage permissions and other setup items as part of the offering. So let's stick within products for right now. And let's go ahead and take a look at how you would start to manage products. So we'll start off with I guess I would say a more simple set of products in terms of, let's just find a product that has some amount of variation. This type of product would be called a parent product, and it would have children that vary by different size, color, or other dimensions that you may have that are unique to your business. You're able to set these up within the application. And just for reference, as we go through this, we're going to be working with the plant store, as you saw. And so here's what your store could look like. This is an example of our reference application. But you'll see here, as we start to get into managing our hierarchies, we have a plants and a pots category. And then again, we have products that we're going to be featuring here. And again, as we take a look at a product with variations, we can see here in our demo, we just flag the ones that have variations just to make it easy to identify. So here's a snake plant here. It comes in a small, medium, and large. But let's go take a look at how, as a merchandiser, you can start to manage products with these similar types of properties. So we're going to work with the pastel pot because it's right here. And you'll see here as we get into the product, we manage every dimension of a product right from within a single interface. So I can quickly get to inventory, pricing, see those variations, manage images. It's all here. And it starts off with the product details. In here, we're going to basically cover all the basics that Elastic Path defines for you in terms of we need what is your slug going to be in terms of defining URLs and what type of product is it. And we'll come back to bundles in a minute. But again, we're going to just start off with give me a description. Tell me the name of this product. If there's any locale needs, we can go ahead and activate different languages. I have only turned on 2 languages here. You can turn on more if you like. But then if I do turn those on, I can then provide value specific to that localization. As we move across here, we can see this pastel pot is in the pots category. It's in indoor pots. It tells me right there, and I can see that category down here, that relationship that's been formed as part of that hierarchy. So it's quick to see where it lives within the different catalogs I might be supporting. When we get to templates, you're going to have your own unique data model. You're going to be able to provide what type of attributes do my products have. If you're selling apparel, footwear, construction items, it's going to look different. And so in this example, we're actually working with a pot. So this product is inheriting a pot template, which has, in our simple demo case, just has 2 attributes. You may have hundreds of attributes if you like, but here I've defined a material and a width. If I was looking at a plant, it would have a different set of attributes. And I can easily manage those and group those attributes together with our templating. As I get to pricing, we can see here for this product, just a single price around USD, but I can provide other localized currency pricings, and I can even start to define my B2B pricing if I like. So I would just pick my platinum tier, provide a price across any number of these currencies, and save that. And when we get to the catalogs, you'll see how I can then combine a product together with a catalog and then target that just to my B2B users. We also support volume pricing. I mentioned that sale pricing, which is by date, start, and end. And then finally, if this product shows up in bundles, I have the ability to even have special bundle pricing for this. So lots of dimensions to the pricing to support any type of merchandising needs you might have around, again, putting that product in with the appropriate price for the customer you're targeting it to. As we get to variations, we'll see this pastel pot varies not just by color, but also by size. And so here I can see this color. It comes in red, blue, and green. It comes in 3 sizes. We have the ability then to come down and say, just go ahead and generate the different unique SKUs that I'm going to be selling. So we tell Elastic Path, here's how it varies. We then say, go ahead and generate all the SKUs. If for some reason we don't sell the red pot in a large size, I can just add an exclusion here and say, don't build that child product as you create this list of related children for this parent. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look though at the red small, because as we get to some of our other pieces here, we're going to want to see from that individual SKU that we sell, things like inventory, right? If we're managing inventory in here for this individual SKU, I'll be able to put in stock. I'll see how many are allocated, how many are available to sell, all managed within here. If you don't manage inventory within Elastic Path, we can integrate with a third-party solution. And then finally, we'll be able to put in any amount of images that are related to these products, and we can upload our own or choose from the library of images as part of the product. So comprehensive set of management around those merchandising aspects of a product, all included with Elastic Path. So once we have that product defined, and any of this information can be imported into the application. So I don't have to manage it here. I don't have to set it up here interactively. I can just load things through spreadsheets or other file formats and populate into the catalog. But again, as you see, you can also modify any of these pieces through the application. Before I go over to the catalog piece, though, I do want to call out the bundling capabilities because, again, this is a unique aspect for Elastic Path. We don't see many commerce solutions that support the richness of bundling that you find with Elastic Path. And so as I take a look at a bundle here, and just to make it a little more visual for you, let's take a look at our bundles on the site. So what do you mean by a bundle, Paul? What am I looking at? So we're actually looking at a product that we've merchandised as an individual offering. It can show up in our catalog or anywhere in the categories that we're presenting. But once we visit the PDP, now we're going to make some selections, and we may see some special pricing related to that. This example today, I've actually put in a fixed price, so it doesn't matter what my selections are, but I can drive that price if I like off the independent selections. And just in my simple example here, I just have two components, a plant component and a pot component. In the plants, you pick from either the snake plant or the parlor plant. We'll go with that parlor plant. I picked from any of the colors that we have here today, so maybe I'm going to go with the pastel blue, and I go ahead and add those to my cart. And you can see we've put this into my shopping cart, and the shopping cart knows it's a palm with the blue pot here as part of my selection for the bundle. So how do we merchandise this? We merchandise this through the bundle flag here, which then activates some additional UI components here where I can go in and define components, just as I mentioned, two components, plants and pots. And for each of these, if I go to plants, we're going to see it's that snake plant and the parlor plant. I say that you have to pick one and no more than one. And I say this is my first product selection, my first component selection. And then I go to pots and I say you can pick from any of these three. This is our second component. And again, pick at least one and no more than one. But again, you can see here, I can start to really create these bundles so you can have optional components. You can have, I have to pick more than one option. And again, that all drives to a unique price if you like to incentivize customers to make the bundle choice, put it in your cart, sell additional items, drive up that basket size. And again, you can have unique merchandising text and images around these bundles to then, again, really provide an incentive to a customer to say, you know what, I'm not just going to get a plant, I'm going to buy the combination and get that special price as I see on the site. All right. All of our products capabilities then get wrapped into hierarchies. So you're going to wed that product together with some categories to drive the shopping experience. So we have these these hierarchies are defined independently because we can mix and match them when we get to catalogs. So here's a pots hierarchy and a plants hierarchy. You'll see there's also plant care, which we didn't see in our navigation on our B2C site, but we'll see in a minute when we get to catalogs. I can start to bring in other hierarchies and target them to different shoppers. If I go to plants, we'll see here, and actually here's how we would manage our nodes for our different hierarchies in the past, but we've actually introduced our new visual node editor here. So it tells me it's new, and I can see here I've got my outdoor plants. If I select indoor plants, we can see the subcategories in here, the independent nodes. If I want to drag and drop these and change the ordering, I can just mix those up and then publish my catalog, and now I can change the order of these if I like. I can add new subcategories. I can go visit these categories independently and see what products are part of these bundles. So if I was to go ahead and browse on through to my bundles, I can only do that through the other. My ability to actually get into see the independent products there. But let's go ahead and take our hierarchies and then put them into a catalog. We did see prices already as part of a product, and we did see earlier that we had those platinum prices and the gold pricing. So that's where we're going to start to bring that into our B2B catalog. But we'll start with a standard catalog that's driving the site that you already saw. There's plants and there's pots, and we're going to have standard pricing. This is how we get up and running. This is your basic catalog. But maybe we want to make this a little more interesting. We want to start to target. We want to start to personalize catalogs. Now we have a B2B catalog that introduces plant care. So it's a special offering just for our B2B customers, but they also can shop from the plants and pots. We've added in some additional price books. So some of our products have special B2B pricing. So we'll use that first. If there's no B2B pricing, they just get the standard pricing. Make it very easy to inherit up to 5 different price books to drive your pricing on the site. And then we couple that with a rules engine to then say, well, who gets the B2B catalog? Well, we can target that to either specific accounts, specific customers, or we can actually just drive it by tags where your front end will then say, I'm looking for a catalog with the B2B tag, and we'll then serve up the appropriate catalog for the scheduled time. So these can be sequenced out, so I can have many catalogs that then are starting based on seasonal requirements, or they're changing requirements throughout the year. Again, I can have multiple versions of these catalogs with a start and end date. Okay. All right. We haven't touched on everything, but we had a lot around products, catalogs, the hierarchies, bringing it all together, complemented with a price book. The only piece missing here on the merchandising is promotions. And again, this is that rules engine that we've talked about. If I want to set up unique promotions, I can define, put in start and end dates. I then couple it with those rules down here. So what type of condition is it? Any or all of these conditions must be met? Is it a cart condition, cart item, custom attribute? Right now I have a cart subtotal, but if I also wanted to restrict the qualifiers or the conditions based on cart items, I would just select cart item, tell it that it needs to be from a product or category or attribute. If I say category, I then go ahead and pick from the different categories on my site to add a further restriction to the eligibility for this promotion. And again, I can complement that then with multiple actions. So I can get 50% off. I can also give you a free product and free shipping at the same time. So I don't have to create multiple promotions to try to execute on multiple strategies for the shoppers on the site. Okay. So now we've kind of hit the highlights of all of the product capabilities. Let's start to bring this into some of the storefront options. So we'll go to Studio. When we get to Studio, we'll see here that Elastic Path has two ways to get you up and running faster with a front-end application. One is our front end as a service offering in Studio. If I click through here, I can go ahead and go directly into the Studio application. And as we'll see here, it's brought in. I'm actually able to go and see, just like we saw our catalog already, you can see that the CX Studio understands my entire catalog. All right. Understands my entire catalog. So all of my plants that we've already set up in product experience are all here for me. And all the categories are here that we've seen already so far today. But now I can start to build out the front end. So as I think of my website, I start with a home page. What does it look like to build out a home page within here? In Studio, it's all just, again, configuration that I'm able to do. Really, business users can drive this. I don't need developers, but there's the ability to add in custom CSS and custom JavaScript where I need. But I can then basically build out pages here. We've got a header. We're not going to change that, but if I wanted to, I have a consistent header and footer across the site that I would manage in the header and footer section. As I build out the home page, I can drop in a section here that I'm working with. I can set a background image that we can see here. Right here, I can set some background coloring. I can add in a header. I'm able to then again create and change any of this as I like. So transform your space today with nature's touch in our plant store, right? I'm able to modify this. I can see exactly as I'm making those changes. I can add in buttons that I link to different areas of my site. I can add in new sections. So if I wanted to add a new section, I would just choose from different areas. Here's their commerce components I can drop in. I can put in different carousels and banners. And again, for each one of these, as I drop them in, I can just go ahead and edit and make changes. In this example, I wanted to try out some different messaging. So I have choose your favorites, or I've activated our A/B testing so I can add a variant on that. Maybe I want to try position this as top seller sometimes. And if I want to change the products, I just click and edit a section so I can see the different products and pick from all the products that are in my catalog very quickly with nice previews around the thumbnails and see the different categories I can drive into to modify this as I like. Okay. So lots here, we're just scratching the surface, but that's one option for your front end. We also have the option of leveraging our composable CLI. This is a reference application that, again, comes with a command line interface. So your developers will appreciate this because they can get up and running quickly just by running 3 commands. Install the CLI, log into Elastic Path, and now I can launch or generate a storefront. When I do that, I then start to create this experience we saw before, where all of your shopping has already been built out by Elastic Path. We have product pages, category pages, the cart, the checkout. It's all here to get you up and running quickly. You bring in your content, you bring in the additional integrations. You'll see in a minute, we were helping you to get the integrations up and running very quickly. But again, the flexibility is really unlimited at this point. This application is a Next.js application built with React. And again, your developers, again, are going to find this quick and easy, great documentation, great access to all those APIs that drive the experience on the storefront. Okay. All right, rounding out our demo, let's get back to Commerce Manager and let's take a look at Composer, right? This is that orchestration piece. It is also our place to get you up and running quickly with integrations because we've pre-built a number of them and made them really easy to consume. So as we see for our Integrations Hub, these are those really one-click integrations. Each of these integrations have been pre-built. They have a very minimal amount of setup to each of them, and you're off and running. If you find that you need more than that, or maybe there's not a solution that's already built in Integrations Hub, you're going to find within our builder area, we have hundreds of components that get you up and running and help you build a low-code integration as you need. So just as an example, in the search area, I went ahead and activated the Algolia integration. You can see that checkbox telling me that. Let's just take a look at how easy it is to get that Algolia integration running. It's literally 2 steps, but really only 1 step to get to really do the setup here. So as I look at that configuration, we've broken this down into, let me tell you what you're going to do. And so again, this is Algolia, and it's going to say we're going to have some triggers here. If I want to explore what's going on below this, I could check these out, but I don't need to change any of this because it's already set up for me. And all I need to do is put in my keys here. I'm going to put in my Algolia keys. I'm going to put in my Elastic Path keys, and these are all going to be synced up, ready to go. So now anytime I publish a catalog, make changes, it's going to activate the process within the Integration Hub to then synchronize everything that's needed with Algolia, rebuild that search index, and make it live on the site. So super easy to get running with Integrations Hub. We've organized the pre-built integrations around 8 different categories. So you'll see here, not only do we have search, we have order management, marketing and communications, our related PIM systems, promotions, store management, and then finally tax and customer management. So again, you may look at this list and say, great, I've got dozens of options here, but there's something that I want to build that isn't part of this, or there's a process I need to orchestrate that isn't part of what's already been shown to me today. That's where Builder comes into play. Builder allows me to create processes and integrations to third-party applications using a low-code environment, and really it stretches out to full code if you like, but it starts with a low-code environment where I can actually just pull from a number of pre-built components and start to create the rules that I needed to generate this. So in this sample integration I have, or the sample process, we've written some logic to then productize, to categorize products in the application. So it's going to start up. We can kick any of these integrations off by webhooks, so events can trigger these. Once we do that, we're going to get some rules that we've set up. We're going to make sure we've got some data, then get this mapping process going. And then it's going to look at, is this a parent product? Is it not? Is it a child product? All the logic's here. And again, it loops through and then eventually assigns a product to a category. We also have other types of examples here where I've got integrations. So let's look at, I have an integration out here, an order sync integration. So again, when that product is captured within Elastic Path, I want to kick off downstream processes that are going to be triggered by a webhook. So orders completed, let's start this integration. It then has some branching logic, and then it goes through and starts to perform different updates here. Here's a component here that says get rows from Google Sheets. We're leveraging some of those hundreds of components, and we can see some of those other components in here. So I heard you were running NetSuite. Great. Let's see what's here for NetSuite. So I search in here, and there are some NetSuite components. I can make requests in a NetSuite. And again, for each one of these, it's really click on the different component, then fill in what's my record type, what's my query, how many items am I going to return back. we've made this as simple as possible to make these integrations, set them up, and then run them and monitor them. So again, it's great that it's up and you can build this stuff, but if you don't know if your business is running securely without air, you're going to be nervous about this. But we give you a monitor here, which then is always taking a look at what's going on in terms of the execution of either the integrations hub integrations or the ones you build yourself in Builder. So I can see all the different instances that have been set up. I can see how many times they've ran over in recent times. I can look at, if I want, just to review all of the components. I mentioned those hundreds of components across a wide variety of different third-party solutions are here just to browse from and see what's in the latest stack. These are being updated all the time. And then again, if I need to get into logs or have other items here, it's all in that dashboard for Monitor. So hopefully you've seen, again, as we haven't touched everything, but we've touched a lot of what Elastic Path brings to enable your composable merchandising needs. We look forward to having more conversations, but again, I think we hopefully can get some more conversations that get your innovation jump-started here. And again, we think we have something that meets that right balance of flexibility that people are looking for in their commerce initiatives.